Hello, everyone. Welcome to what episode are we on? 9? I have no idea. God, I'm a shit host. But look, welcome to our episode all about rookie groups. It wasn't initially debut groups, but now I've changed it to rookie groups. So we might have, I don't know if there's a difference. Like, we're going to talk about these things. So look, here's the panel for today. Da-da-da. Okay, we have Christine, Brooke, Trish, Lucy, Suey, and Rachel. Firstly, before I get on to anything else, what are we all excited about this week in K-pop? I know Ace had a comeback. Was that this week?
Ace mostly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ace nearly killed half of, well, it would be nice if they killed half of K-pop because they're so underrated, though. Probably half of K-pop didn't see them.
I tell you what, they killed us this morning because they covered my house.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Who else came back this week?
This
One Wee was so good. One Wee, I love it. Love it.
Mm.
It's a light week as far as like comebacks go because I think probably because
of KCON
go on.
Yeah.
And next week it's heavier. It seems like.
Oh, next week is just chock full.
Mm. Is anyone actually? We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Who's been watching KCON?
I've watched the first 2 days. I've watched the first 2 days. So
I watched this morning. I don't know why. I should have been sleeping, but whatever.
Yeah,
I did my usual trick of I was just scared from last time buying the ticket and then couldn't find how to watch it, and then I realized I'd actually bought my membership through my other Gmail account that I was accidentally logged in on, and that's why I couldn't find KCON and couldn't stop the payments either. So now I'm and I just don't end up watching it. All right, look, before we get on to the topic of the day, Rachel. Rachel doesn't look like a noob, does she? Because you see her nearly every week in Imitation Debrief, and I think you might have done a Kingdom one as well.
Yes, I did. Yes.
But this is the first time you've actually been on the Road to Hagdom show. So tell us a bit about how you got into K-pop.
It's kind of like a lot of people's story. I was really into anime as a kid. My brother got me into anime, like Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon. I'm aging myself. Anyways, Sailor Moon, those kind of things. And then I can't remember which anime led me to watch like live action. So I started watching Japanese dramas. And then that led to Hanayori Denko, which is the Japanese version of Boys Over Flowers, and then I watched Boys Over Flowers, the Korean version with Lee Min-ho, and that was such a cheesy drama, but I loved the soundtrack so much that I got into SHINee and Double S 501. They kind of dropped off for me, but I've been a Shawool since like 2010. So they're my first group. I still love them. It's great. They're a great group. And they got me into K-pop. And I feel like I didn't really venture outside of them for like a few years. Like,
oh, wow.
I was just really busy with my life and I didn't have time. Not that I don't have time now, but I was pretty much a Shawool for like a few years before I started venturing out. And Big Bang was my next group. So I went into Big Bang for a bit. I still love them. I mean, of course, they haven't come back in forever, but and then from there, it was like BTS with I Need You. That got me. And then from there, it kind of opened up more and just explored a whole bunch of groups. So I stand too many. It's a problem.
Yeah, it is. I think
there's no such
most of the hags
are too many.
Mad multis, yeah.
Too many, and I still love K-dramas. I don't watch as many as I did at the beginning of my journey, I think, for K-dramas. I'm a bit pickier, is what it is, with my selection of what to watch. And I also wait till they all air. I hate, this is really rare for me to watch a show while it's airing. So it's kind of like, I want the next episode. But I guess I got used to binging things. So, so that's my K-pop journey, generally speaking.
Awesome.
I didn't really have a lot of K-pop friends until I joined Twitter, and I joined that kind of later than I originally wanted to, I guess. But I just was avoiding social media.
Yeah, that's where I found all my K-pop friends. Was basically Twitter.
I have a few in my city now, Vancouver, but I didn't live here forever. I grew up in Ontario, kind of 3 hours away from Toronto, which is the smaller city where I grew up. So I had no one there. So when I moved here, finally, I got some friends with K-pop,
Awesome.
but it's been hard this year. This whole year, I haven't been really be able to see them because COVID hit us kind of hard. So.
Yeah. It's been a shitty year.
Anyways,
But thank God for the interwebs so we can chat here.
Anyways, that's my journey basically, and I'll let us get on to the topic because we have a lot to talk about.
Here we go.
Showing commercials.
Hello, right. I know you've all got a bunch of groups that you want to talk about, but before we go on to individual topics, I just want to talk about how do you define, now this is, I changed the name of the, I changed the name of the episode from debut groups to rookie groups because, I don't know, what are they called, and what defines a rookie group? Is it like, I know we're talking about UNVS today, and they don't seem like rookies because they're experienced, even though, and they've only just debuted officially in Korea. So what do you think, and what do you think defines a rookie group? Is it someone, is it the experience? Is it how long since they've been debuted? Because I know the music and awards shows have like almost like an 18-month or a 16-month window when they're considering rookie groups. I thought it was 12 months, but so anyone want to have a go at that? What do you think defines rookie groups?
Well, for just me personally, Christine, you're muted. For me, it's just like, just personally, I count it as like they've debuted within the last year from the current point. That's just, for me. And I know that it's a little different for the award shows, like, because I remember there was like a discussion last fall about, which groups, were going to be considered rookies for last year's awards and which weren't, and that kind of thing. Because like Hypen was in there, but I think they were like debuted past the cutoff, and it was kind of confusing. So,
anyone else?
I tend to just go anything under 2 years because obviously, like you said, it's like
2 years sounds good to me too.
It varies a lot.
2 years seems like a good rule. Although sometimes it's weird. I thought about these rookie groups and I was thinking how I feel like TXT and AT still feel like rookies to me. I don't know. It still feels like they're so new to me, even though I know they've passed their 2-year dates. Yeah. Even Very seems like rookies to me. So it almost feels like there's something in between rookies and seniors. Yeah. I don't know if it's veterans or what we call them in that in between time,
Yeah,
they're just like fourth gen. So
Yeah, they all seem like rookies, don't they? Also, look, what do you think? What unique struggles do you think groups that have debuted during COVID, or even just the start of 2020, have had compared with other groups?
Huge.
Just not seeing their fans. Can you even imagine?
I feel like that's definitely affected their performances. Because, like, not that I think they're doing worse in their performances or anything, but I feel like it's just a matter of like you don't see the connection maybe for some of them for the performances because their fans aren't there and they're not cheering them on. Not that they still don't do great, but I feel like sometimes you can just see the like disconnect of like, I'm doing this is for the fans, but they're not here and I don't feel the motivation I usually do.
Yeah, they can't feed off the crowd.
Yeah. Do you reckon they're gonna always be, because they're talking about kids who should have started pre-primary or kindergarten or grade 1 during 2020, and they missed out, and they're missing out on these huge socialization skills, and they reckon they're always going to be a little step behind like premies. Do you think the new groups are going to be a bit like that they've missed the feedback from the crowd and the experience of in front of a crowd, or they'll eventually catch up?
They'll catch up, I think.
It's been a whole different world for them.
Well, they've had to adapt to different things. They've learned different skills in this time, I feel like. Like a lot of it was like a lot of like fan meetings that online that wouldn't have necessarily happened online before, or like just virtual concerts. Not all groups unfortunately could do that because of money, but I feel like they all had to kind of learn to adapt, and like maybe that'll help them in the future because I feel like virtual concerts are still going to happen because they make so much money from those.
With the virtual concerts, that's to me that's a benefit for them because it's like out of the gate. They're going to be very comfortable with that format where you see some of the older groups are just kind of like, they're the ones playing catch up now.
Yeah, and it's a bit like all of us, really, that COVID has sort of forced us. Like, I wouldn't have probably even thought to do this show if not for a little chain of events that had to do with everyone having to be online. So, yeah, there'll be, I guess that performance experience will come, but for some of the oldies, it may never. The tech and the virtual concert might never sort of come for them. All right, we're going to move straight on because we don't have a lot of time this morning, because if you are one of our regulars, you'll know we have imitation debrief in less than 2 hours. So let's get into it. Okay, Christine, tell us.
All right. So the rookie groups, we'll call them rookies today. The rookies I'm going to talk about today are Dark B and UNVS, who, as we discussed, is probably on that wavering. They're kind of waffling on the rookie group because they did debut in Taiwan previously. But Dark B, DKB, Dark B is my old rookie group. They are on Brave Entertainment, and Dark B stands for dark brown eyes. So, and they do all have dark brown eyes. They're not into the colored contact thing. So they debuted in February 2020 with a song called Sorry Mama, which I loved that song. But immediately when I heard that song, I wouldn't say that's what like really grabbed me. It took their debut week, they go on all the shows, they go on the music shows, and they did a show called Fact and Star. And I caught them on Fact and Star, and I was like immediately hooked. Like, I just fell in love with them. They are 9 members, and they are, I bias them all. Like, I say I bias them all because I love them all equally. Although I do have a bias. My bias is Hee-chan. But I just love them all. And they're all super talented. I mean, they have 2 leaders, which makes them unusual in K-pop. D1 is a leader and Ichan is a leader. And they're both, it's not like kind of 17, how one leads a performance team and one leads a vocal team. They seem to equally lead the whole group. But I noticed D1, he's got a skill with the maknae line. I always see him with the youngins. And so I think they probably take on different roles as co-leaders. But their concept, it's hard to think. I was trying to think concept. I'd say they're like bad boys with soft hearts. Like, if you watch their MVs and you watch them a lot, they kind of came out with a bit of a icon vibe, kind of a bad boy vibe, but yet they put out all love songs. So I think that's really sweet. I think it's really sweet. And my favorite album by them is called Love. It's got all these wonderful songs, relationship songs, but mixed in with angst and bravado. So they cover that kind of bad boy vibe as well. They have flower boys and tough guys. Like their resident flower boy is Loon. I don't know if anybody knows the members, but
Loon. He reminds me of Son. I think he's my bias.
He's just absolutely beautiful, and he is. If you look on like the K profiles, he's the most biased, and he is their flower boy. But they're just such a cool group. They are similar musically. I don't know if anybody was a Brave Entertainment stan, but like there was a group on Brave called Big Star years ago with like Field Dog and Ray Wan and a lot of people we probably know. But their music is really similar to Big Star, but of course Big Star kind of had a difficult road. So I'm really hoping Dark B can thrive on that similar vibe, that kind of bad boy, but with a soft heart, love songs. Again, best album is Love. If you haven't heard their single Still, that's my favorite song, Still. And the best B-side is a song called Rose. So, I have no fan on in this house, so if I'm sweating, that's why. Why should you stan Dark B? Stan Dark B because they're performance kings. They are amazing, amazing dancers. Harry June is the maknae, but he's also, I say Harry June is on the road to be one of the best dancers in K-pop. I watch him and I get almost a Taemin vibe off him, because remember when Taemin was young, he just lived to dance and he practiced all the time, and you could see this natural musicality in Taemin. And of course, we all know how he's grown as a performer. And I see that same kind of heart, that heart for dancing, that love of dancing in Harry June, who's only 16, so he's got a lot of years to grow. They self-choreograph. Hee-chan, my bias, is the choreographer. They self-produce. They are a crazy group of 9 guys. I just think they're super easy to stan, although Sui might say differently, because I think Sui's been trying to stan them for about a year.
I love them. But yeah, there's others that come
Yeah,
above.
yeah. There's others that have taken. I know it's really hard. It's really hard when you want to stand all the debut groups. But I'm always pushing Dark B because I feel like they're easy to stand. They're 9 totally different guys. They each have equal screen time in their content. You never get to know one member more than another. So if you want to stand Dark B, I recommend watching that Fact and Start episode from February 2020. That I just fell in love with them. So that's Dark B.
And
now,
I'll just interrupt here. And one of our team, Toya, has actually put together a playlist. So all these groups we're talking about and their recommended tracks, plus ones we didn't have time to talk about, are all actually already on a playlist linked in the description of the video. So if you want to go check them out. Thank you.
Yeah. So should I talk about my second group or?
Yes.
All right. So Universe, which I called them UNVS for like a year. And then I was watching Lucy on our underrated groups episode, and Lucy calls them Universe. So I'm like, oh, I've been saying it wrong for a year. But
K-pop struggles.
Yeah, K-pop struggles, isn't that true? But so Universe, it's UNVS is the abbreviation. And they have debuted already. Like I said, they're kind of a waffler here with rookie groups today, but they debuted in Taiwan with only Taiwanese language music. 2 members, Changyu and YY, were in the Taiwanese version of Universe. And then that was 2016. And then they had a lineup change. They almost had like a whole direction change. And now Chi-Town Music, which is their representation, is promoting them quite differently. They have new members. They're still an older group. They have 5 members, and they range in age from 24 to 29.
Very hot.
They, as Toya would say, they are grown-ass men.
Grown-ass men.
Yeah.
So it is kind of nice to stand a group of grown-ass men.
So I don't feel weird standing them.
So anyway, I would say their concept is very mature. They sing about real love. They have real relationships. It's not like they're trying to present themselves as chaste young men. It's implied they have real relationships, real girlfriends. Not their fans aren't their girlfriends. They might actually have real ones. Gasp! Like, oh my god. But they kiss in their MVs and stuff like that. Other girls, and they dance with other girls in a sexy way. So I just find that very refreshing. I find it refreshing to have an older rookie group and also a group that doesn't try to pretend that they don't have relationships. So I like that. And the music's very EDM, ballady, really the writer producer Samuel Koo, he runs Chi-Town Music, and he used to be a soloist. So he comes from a very musical standpoint, and he understands artistry, and I know he really wants to make Universe a very successful group. And why should people stand them? I just find them refreshing. I find them very different. And so if you're looking for something that's a little bit of a breath of fresh air, a little older in K-pop, a different image than we're used to in K-pop, think about Universe. Their best songs, I think their best song is Timeless, but all their songs are really good. They don't have a lot of music out there, but the songs that they have out there are all really good. Timeless, Sandcastle. The MVs that they put out are gorgeous. I don't know if that's where all the money is going, because they haven't toured, and they've hit, obviously they haven't toured, but they haven't done like a lot. There's not a lot of content out there, but the MVs are beautiful, and the MVs are gorgeous, and they are gorgeous. The men are gorgeous. So.
They are gorgeous.
So I recommend standing. And if you want to watch something to get to know them, I really like the show they were on last year called Rookie King. Rookie King is a series. It's a long series. You can't watch it in one day, but it's really fun, and you'll learn the members. The only other groups that have ever been on Rookie King are Boys Republic and BTS.
Oh,
so
Boys Republic.
I know. Boys Republic and BTS. So let's see where Universe goes. I hope they go far.
Thank you.
All
Brooke, tell us about your groups.
Yeah, so the first group I chose was T1419. They are under MLD Entertainment, and they debuted on January 11th, 2021. They have 9 members, and their concept is kind of like presenting problems that teenagers face, especially going on in the world. Sorry. They have, let me see. Yeah, 9 members. I'm sorry, I just lost track of everything I was saying.
It's all right.
They look like cuties.
I saw my screen was lagging and I just shut down. Okay. So the concept behind their name is more of like they were teenagers when they met aged 14 to 19. Obviously now it's been a little while. I think the oldest member is about 21 now. 2021. But yeah, they talk about kind of like the hardships of youth in their songs and stuff. But I don't want that to be something that kind of makes people not want to listen to their music, because I know sometimes like you think, oh, it's for young people, but it's really not. Their music is so interesting to me. Some of the sounds that they use in their songs like Asura Babata and Dracula, they use like specific sounds in the chorus that I find very interesting. Let's see. Yes, and they actually just recently gave their fandom a name. It's oh dear, it's German.
Is it?
It's the
Oh no.
Edelweiss. Yeah.
Edelweiss is my mum's and my grandmother's name. Both of them.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little
Yeah.
little flower in the Alps from Sound of Music.
Yeah.
Sound of Music.
Yes, that's what I think of when you say it.
We will be actually having a Sound of recasting Sound of Music with Idols episode soon.
Ooh. And I think
Sorry, Brooke.
Oh no, you're fine.
I can't believe their fandom name is Edelweiss. It's literally my nana and my mum. It's like, it's so nice.
Yeah. They actually just announced it. I don't even think it was a week ago.
Wow.
It was not that
I'm so
long
excited.
ago.
It's a really interesting name for a kingdom. I think it's nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like the flower.
Mm-hmm. And then they actually have a YouTube channel that they upload videos to if you want to like check them out.
Oh.
They don't have any English subtitles, but it's kind of fun to just watch them. There are subtitles there, but it's easy to watch on their own too.
Sometimes you don't need subtitles. It's all in the physical comedy or the facial expressions.
Right. And then I actually didn't hear of T1419 until they debuted. And I heard their first song, Asura Babata, and I was like, why
what was that
have I
again?
not heard of them
Say that again, Brooke. Say the name again. It's the worst song name.
I know, Asura Babata. I think it means everything is coming, or like everything happens for a reason, something like that.
Okay. Thanks. Sarah's onto it. Asura Babata. That's the only bit I know of the song, though. Funnily enough, yeah.
I mean, in the song it sounds good, but saying it out loud is a little awkward. But what's super interesting about their pre-debut track, Dracula, is that they had a ton of makeup on, so that way you couldn't really see their features that well. So it was just what the song was and what the choreography was, and I thought that was very interesting.
It was like a Kiss vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like horror makeup almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's super something I would have people check out.
Horror K-pop art. I thought it was Abracadabra.
Well, we're not going brown-eyed girls here. Sorry.
Abracadabra is a lyric in the song.
Oh, is it? Because nothing else, I guess, rhymes with.
I mean, it's a memorable
Yeah,
name, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. We remember it because it's so weird.
That song
So
will
I
get
guess-
stuck in your head too, believe me.
Yeah.
It does.
It's
It is
It's a
really
good song.
catchy. I've got it on my
it's going in my
playlist.
head right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. hmm And this is actually the only, well, T1419 is the only group out of mine that I have like a definitive bias, because as soon as I saw Kyo's face on a picture, I was like, I love him. He's so cute. He's adorable.
Is he
He's
the
like
redhead?
16, little baby face.
He's the curly haired one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he the Muppet
Curly
one?
hair.
Oh, that's my daughter's bias. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's so cute.
I keep changing
I just
biases
wanted
in
to
that.
say
group.
that because that was
Don't have one yet.
I can't remember my bias's name, but he reminded me of a cross. He was a cross between Hongjung and G-Dragon. Who's which?
I know the
Oh,
exact
his and
one. I
him,
know the
yeah,
exact
yeah.
member you're talking about.
And of course, I love them both. So yeah, I saw him and went, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't
Yeah,
see
he's my
him, but I know
possible bias.
I know who you're
Is
talking
it
about.
Noah? I wonder if it's Noah.
Oh, it might be Noah. Yeah. I
Noah?
think it is.
Noah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next group is Purple Kiss under RBW, the same entertainment company as Mamamoo. They debuted on March 15th, 2021, and their fan name is hilarious. It's Plory. It's supposed to be a mixture of purple and glory. But it sounds
Plory.
so funny.
Plory.
Like a condition.
I love it. It's so stupid. They have 7 members. I couldn't really find a definitive concept for their group. When they debuted, especially like right about now, they have a darker concept, almost horror adjacent with Ponzonia. They had like the spiders and the horror and the screaming in the songs, but it wasn't super scary. They actually delayed their debut because of the health of
Swan.
Yeah, Swan. And she was able to finally debut in about March, so that's when they ended up going with it. But they had quite a few like pre-debut songs and teasers, and that's when I really like fell in love with them, because their voices are so interesting and dynamic and like gorgeous to listen to. With like Ponzonia and My Heart Skip a Beat, it's more of like a rock sound, but then you get into the song Can We Talk Again, I think is what it's called, and it's like a ballad, and you can hear their voices, and it's just so gorgeous.
Yeah, their vocals were very apparent, even in their pre-debut or pre-release stuff. It was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really like, I heard them and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
There's another one that I
It's
love.
RBW,
Yeah.
right? RBW just has great vocalists, I feel like.
Yeah.
They can pick
They
them.
really know how to pick them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I'll move on to my last one, which is Pixie. And they debuted on February 24th, 2021. And their fandom name is Winksy. And
I love fandom names.
I know. I want to look them because they're so dumb sometimes, but I love them. They're under All Art Entertainment. They're a 6-member group. They actually have a very interesting concept. It's like an overarching story that kind of in the same vein as EXO, where they were like, they had all the superpowers and like the space alien stuff. Pixie is like, their concept is a dark fairy tale where each of the girls is a pixie that were born without wings. So they are trying to kind of get the wings. I think one of the members found a pair of broken wings, and there was a whole story with a witch.
Oh.
I think it's kind of confusing.
Storyline's arc.
I mean, K-pop.
Right. but there's kind of like this overarching story in all of their videos and all of the stuff that they put out, which is really interesting to me. And their actual debut track was Wings. So that kind of goes into them trying to find their wings or being born without their pixie wings. And the other track I wanted to talk about was The Moon, which is on their mini album. They actually but they released a performance video for it for their 100 Days debut. And it's so, I don't know, it's like sexy without being overtly like sexual. It's just a very nice song to kind of like listen to and dance to. I would say it kind of almost gives me like Taemin vibes in a way. Yeah, because the way that they use the music in the chorus just kind of reminds me of that sort of style of music, and I really love it. But yeah, the video, they're like wearing matching like suits with like crop tops underneath, and it's just so like aesthetic to watch and just listen to. It's so nice. Yes, and I don't know if they have any like videos that they make like T1419 do, but if they do, check it out because I love them. Yes.
Well, they're relatively new. I'm sure they'll get more videos if they don't already have a lot right now, right? Plus, they're a girl group. I feel like they kind of limit the amount of stuff a girl group puts out at first, unless they're from one of the big companies for some reason. No idea why.
That's true.
I really love their Wings song. I like the girl groups that have sort of that harder rock sound. So
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Trish.
All right. So I've got 3 groups as well. First one is a group that has one of the most unique concepts I think I've ever seen, and that's Kingdom. Not to be confused with the competition show or the zombie drama. This is the debut. There's so many kingdoms in
Poor boys.
But yeah, this is what's up on the screen now is the concept photo for their album that's coming out this next week.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Oh my goodness.
The styling for this group has just been amazing from the beginning. And that ties into their concept. Their concept is each of the members' stage name is named after a historical king. Yay! There we go, Kingdom. Their first album.
I have it too, Trish. It's over there.
It's called History of Kingdom Part 1 Arthur, and of course it's the member Arthur. The whole concept was Arthur Pendragon, King Arthur and the Round Table, and Excalibur. Their debut song was called Excalibur. And just, it was so, I mean, to not overuse the word unique, but it was really unique compared to a lot of debuts you see. They did debut this past February 18th. They have 7 members. Their oldest member is their leader, Dan. He and Arthur both were previously in the group Varsity. I think that they've disbanded now. So you've got Dan, named after King Dan of Denmark. Arthur, of course, Arthur Pendragon. Mugen, who's after Emperor Jinyu of Japan.
My bias.
I'm a
beautiful.
Dan's my bias. And then Louis, of course, Louis the 14th of France.
Yep.
Ivan, King Ivan the Fourth, or also known as Ivan the Terrible, which is kind of funny because Ivan the member is
the
like
softest.
He's a sweet boy.
Sweet and soft. And it's like, really? He named him after Ivan the Terrible? And then Jahan was Emperor Shah Jahan, who is the builder of the Taj Mahal. And then this next one that's coming out this week is Chiyu, and it's Emperor Chiyu. Yeah, he's the Maknae, and he's after Emperor Chiyu of China. So all the all the different. I've bought all three, or I bought both albums. You know, no big surprise there. But just the styling has just been amazing. It's like the costuming and the makeup and the face jewelry, and it's like
gorgeous.
All the gold stuff, and it was just, if you haven't like
check them out.
Twitter, check out the individual teaser photos. They're just amazing. I'm just like, I want to like hug that stylist.
Yeah,
but
I can't believe we're going to get one of these amazing concerts for every comeback. They've got it so planned out in advance.
They have it so planned out for years in advance.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like so cool.
A bit like 80s. They have a lot of theirs planned out, but not in this such a structured concept. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, they've put a lot of planning and thought and work into this before those boys ever debuted. Interesting about Dan is he actually speaks 4 languages, and one of them is Arabic. Wow. He lived in Dubai for a number of years, and actually when he was 19, he was the Arabic translator for KCON, which I thought was kind of interesting. So so he speaks Korean, English, French, and Arabic. And so they've had, they've had the one album out, and then the one that's coming out this week. My favorite tracks off the debut are Excalibur, which was the title track, and then Night Air, which is a gorgeous song. It just really shows off their vocal ability. So I just love them. And they're under GF Entertainment, and their fandom name is Kingmakers. And then next is WeI. They debuted. Oh yes, that's the one of the photos from their newest comeback this month. They debuted last October. They're under, I don't know how to say it, OUI Entertainment. We. Okay. And I don't know how to say the fandom name either, even though I put it into Google Translate earlier and listened to it several times. I now don't remember what it was, but it's RUI.
Excuse me. Can I just interrupt for 1 second? Someone has arrived. Someone has arrived.
Look, wait,
why are you so late?
Wow. Oh my God.
I said earlier, Swinston, that you need a keeper.
The things we said about you while you were gone, while you weren't here, obviously sleeping, Swinston. All right, Trish, carry on.
Anyway, so WeI has 6 members, and let's see, some of them used to be in other groups. Donghan used to be in JBJ, and then 2 of the members, Youngha and Jinso, were in One the Nine.
I know.
Johan, which is he's the one that most people are familiar with, even if they're not really familiar with the group. He's an actor. He recently played the lead in the drama A Love So Beautiful, the Korean version of it. And then he's going to be in another one later this year, School 2021. So they've had
X1.
I'm sorry?
Too. He's also an X1. The produced X101.
Yeah,
the
produced X101.
And then Sokwa, who he was on YG Treasure Box, the group that made Treasure, but he was eliminated. He's the one in the top row with the orange hair. So, and so they've had 3 mini albums out, and they're all in what's called the Identity series. Like this is the one that came out in February, Identity Challenge. So they don't really have a concept to me. It's like, because the albums that they put, even the 2 albums they've put out so far this year, they have a much different look. They have a different sound. The one from February had a darker concept, more powerful songs. The title track from that was All or Nothing. It was just and
had it on repeat.
Yeah, me too. And then this month they put out the Bye Bye Bye, which is a fun, colorful, summery song. It's cute, and that's what that picture's from. So to me, they have a lot of versatility, and I really like them. And then the last one was actually last year's Rookies of the Year, Treasure. And they're with YG Entertainment. Yep, there they are. There are 12 of them. And again, this group was formed through YG Treasure Box, and they had to wait a long time in between when Treasure Box was over, like over a year and a half before they were able to debut. Things happened.
Oh, I remember. It was just went on forever, didn't it?
Yeah. That's why
let him out of the
so
dungeon.
Excited. And the thing was, I'm glad I didn't watch YG Treasure Box when it aired, because I would have just cried, every time somebody got eliminated, not knowing what would happen, to them later on. So I didn't watch Treasure Box until they had debuted. That way I knew who the members were. I knew like some of them had also gone up, like a couple of them are now in CIX and, Sonquas and now in WeI. So it's like some of them have gone on to do other things. Because that show was just brutal. I'm just like screaming at my television. But they
Fangirl Suey.
But their fandom name is Treasure Makers, or Toomey. I don't know if that's how you say it. One of the things I find interesting about them a lot of groups have, a Japanese member. They have 4. That is a third of their group is from Japan, which I find really interesting. And of course, they've done a full Japanese album. They're still, to me, they're still rookies, even though they won Rookie of the Year last year. But they've put out their first 2 albums. These were they were single albums, and so was their third one. And then they combined those 3 and added some new songs and a couple of new versions of other songs and put them in a full album. And then they put out a single in Japan and a full album in Japan too. So favorite tracks for me, there's several, but I like Boy, which was their debut, and Going Crazy, which was actually a pre-debut song that kind of tied everybody over until they actually debuted.
Yeah.
I have 2 biases in this group, and they're both from the Japan line, Asahi and Yoshi. They're just, Asahi is my kind of weird, he's a little offbeat, and he's just cool. And Yoshi is just the sweetest bean ever.
He's a fire rapper. I really love.
Yeah, he really is. Yes, that's
Yoshi's
the thing. They have 3 really.
And Haruto as well, who's my bias. Yeah.
Yeah, Haruto. Yeah.
Haruto. Yeah.
Yeah, Yoshi, Haruto, and Hyunsuk. They have 3 really good rappers. Of course, coming from YG, that's not really surprising. Mm-hmm. Yes, they have been really busy since when they debuted. So that's kind of it. Oh yeah. Oh, they have their concepts. They've done a combination too. They've done both cute, of course, like the fire rapping and everything in there. They have done some sexier stuff, which I personally have an issue with because some of their members are so young. They have several members who are minors. It was a good song.
The song was great.
I feel like that they were pushing those boys to be older than they were, and
they could have given that sexy part to one of the older boys, even.
One of the
but they
adults.
had the babies up the front being sexual.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay. It's like if I could just listen to the song without watching the video, because it's like, okay, can you please let the boys grow up first?
Yeah, that was a bit much, but the song was a fire.
It was, yeah. It was a great song, and it's like it's very YG, and but yeah, I just kind of wish they had assigned the parts differently.
Yeah.
But anyway, those are my groups.
Thank you very much. Okay, Swenson, are you awake yet? We know you're here. Do you feel like you can talk?
Yes, I can, but I just felt sorry for jumping in and interrupting all the
That's fine. We just did it to draw attention to your lateness.
Oh, no.
Don't worry. We love to mock you, Swenson.
Okay, if that's Swenson. One thing that I know. Yeah. All right. Shall I go?
The late Swenson. Yes.
Okay.
Carry on. You go.
I'm never gonna live this down, am I?
You never.
All right. So in we go. I have 2 groups today to share with, and both happens to be rookie girl groups. the first one is Stacy. It's being written in all capitalized STAYC because it actually meant something. Surprise, surprise. It's star to a young culture, hence Stacy. Yeah, and we've got 6 members here, namely Sumin Sien, Isa Seun, and then not L, sorry, J. I can't even read. J and
oh my
Yin.
God, go back to bed.
So 6 of the girls born from 2001 through to 2004. So really, really young ladies over here. They're housed under Hallyu Entertainment, which is established in 2017. It's a relatively new company. They actually had a debut in November last year with the debut single named So Bad. I mean, the song itself called So Bad. And then, well, I wasn't early, I would say, to like catch up on their debut, but when I first heard
Sensen, you're not early to anything, Sensen.
I should have that tattooed on my forehead next time I'm late. Where was I?
Sorry, it's gonna give me shit all day.
Shit.
This is like Swenson when he forgot day 6 in the game. So
yeah.
That's all that is, please.
It just constantly embarrassing myself. All right.
Okay, I'll stop. Look, I'm sorry.
serious
Hannah's
face.
telling me to stop. All right, I'll stop.
Stop teasing.
It was
her.
just I couldn't.
you,
all right.
I mean, you all have every reason to be mean, but let's get back to the point.
Okay.
I was talking about So Bad, and then the dance crew that I'm in happened to be covering that song, and then oh gosh, did that not stuck in my mind for at least 2 weeks. So
Same.
yeah, it was I would say breath of a fresh air for what a 4th gen rookie K-pop group. I wasn't expecting such a sound to come out from them. So they
really
definitely
good track.
they definitely did a solid debut with So Bad. And then earlier this April they made their first comeback with the title track ASAP, and it's a 180. They did a 180 the Chakayuri. It's a completely different song. And then we're getting we're getting a more, you know, I shouldn't even call it generic. I'd say a signature bubbly kind of K-pop girl group sound. So so they've got 2 songs up till now. I mean, like 2 title songs alongside 2 B-side tracks, which makes a total of 4, which isn't a lot at all. But from what these 4 songs gave us, I felt like they're a very versatile group. So I'll definitely have them on my radar.
Yeah, So Bad's been on my playlist on repeat ever since Casey DC did a cover, and Alex is in it as well. So I've watched it a few times, and then I realised I was watching the cover to listen to the song. I probably watched it 20 times without actually watching the group's music video, so I had to actually go over and watch the video the other day. But great song.
Yeah, it's a great song. Really, it is. And so that's pretty much that I have about Stacy to start with. Definitely give them a check. And then the second group that I have here is Secret Number. They had 5 members in the group, namely Leah, Dita, Ginny, Sudam, and Denise. And it's not in any particular order. I was just naming them in a random list. But yeah, the oldest member, born 1995, same as me, and then youngest would be Denise, born in 2001. They were housed under Vine Entertainment, which is also a relatively new company established in 2016. And one thing that caught my eye in of those 5 members, there's only by if we're going by nationality, there's only one Korean out of those 5 members. So the rest would be 2 Korean American, but they hold like American nationality, and Japanese, and surprisingly, an Indonesian in it.
And that's Dita, right? Isn't she supposed to be an Indonesian princess or something?
From what I knew, she her family was pretty well off in Indonesia, and she actually spent quite a couple of years studying in New York, and therefore we have at least 3 fluent English speaker within the group, which is, I don't know, I mean, I wouldn't call it rare, but it's it's not very common that you have more than half of the group being fluent English speaker. So
it's an advantage when it comes to international. You find that a lot of the rookie groups that have got English speakers do quite well with the international fans.
Yeah, one thing with like good English, with having a lot of English speaker within a group is that you get to harvest a lot of memes, even though they're like the rookies and stuff, But where was I? Yeah, so they're rookie by definition, but they had a debut last year in May, so they're technically over a year. I would still consider them as rookie, but yeah, I think the whole K-pop industry is just moving at such a quick pace that even 1 year into their career, it's sometimes people wouldn't necessarily classify them as rookie anymore. But anyways, May last year they made a debut with single track Who Dis, which is a very funky song, and then they had one comeback which happened during November last year with the title track Got That Boom. So similar to Stacy, they made a debut, they had one comeback, so they're at somewhat a similar position in their career, where it's we don't get a lot of songs yet, but both the title tracks that we've been getting so far, at least on the musically, it's both songs are really brass heavy and also EDM influenced in such a way that it reminded me of quite a period of time in K-pop, say 2015, 2016, where it's a signature sound for a lot of K-pop songs. So if you're out there, big songs like AOA's Good Luck, Ailey's You and I, or even Psy's New Face, like if you're a fan of these 3 songs, then you would definitely love the songs from Secret Number. And some interesting fact about the members, Ginny and Denise, both which happens to be English speakers, they were actually ex-YG trainees. And Ginny also happens to be appearing on Produced X48, although she didn't I think she got eliminated 3 episodes into the whole series. That's Ginny back in 2018. And then the youngest member, Denise, born 2001, actually made it into quite close to being a finalist of a survival show called K-Pop Star. I don't know which season it is, but I'm pretty sure it's 2016. So yeah, and girl, she's got a gorgeous voice. She really does, and she can sing. And I felt like having a strong vocal line within a group is so important to as a foundation of a group. So I felt like Secret Number is also well prepared to make a bang in the industry.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Both the groups that I have.
Thank you. Lucy, tell us about your groups.
I go to sleep.
No, I'm going to start in debut order, which for no reason other than I just realised I've written them that way anyway. The first one is Elast. So they debuted June the 9th, 2020.
Oh, so pretty.
Oh, Sue's fangirling. She's worse than Songhua.
This is my. I was channeling my inner Songhua for sure. But this is my way of screaming without screaming over the top of everybody else's.
I feel like
skill, so.
Sui could talk about like every group we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're from E Entertainment, which they are the only group from that company so far. There's I've just realized I gave you a picture without one. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
One,
yeah, because
sorry,
he was doing something else. Oh,
yeah,
for a while.
he was filming. I was just about to say he was busy filming something. They do have another member in that photo, but he wasn't there for anything but the debut so far. Apart from now he's back. He was just filming a show, and it went on forever. And we're like, when is he ever going to come back? But no. So there's 8 members. Reino, Choyin, Sungyeok. I'm going to absolutely butcher these names, sorry. Baekhyun, Roman, Wonhyuk, Wonjun, and Yejun. And they've got quite a big age gap. Well, not a big age gap, thank you. He's back now, but he's not been there since the beginning. He's the second youngest member as well, so it's sad to have him go because he's so cute. Yeah, Wonhyuk is really popular because he comes up on Stan Twitter all over the place. He's one of those proper like it boy vibes. I'm sure most of you know him.
I think he's my bias too.
I tried to make him not be mine, but he said he had to be.
Yeah, he told me to.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is that sort of person. He's fighting for bias record for me at the minute, but my bias is Choyin, who is actually the eldest. He is born in 1996, and the youngest is born in 2002. So it's a reasonable age difference. He is not the leader, though. The eldest isn't the leader. It's not even the second eldest is third. It's Rhea. They're just complete all-rounders as well. Like, they really are. While Wonjun is the main rapper, and he wasn't there from the debut song onwards to now because he was filming something. So Wonhyuk took over, who's actually technically the main vocal, and did both for a bit. They've got such amazing vocalists, such amazing rappers. They can just do everything. Such amazing dancers. Wonhyuk and Wonjun were actually in Produce X 101. They got 33rd and 47th, I think, rank. But they're both 2002 liners as well, which is crazy. Their debut song was a lot mellower than the latest 2 releases, well, apart from the unit. They have just a distinctive sound. They are, I always say it's like that second, third gen barrier sort of sound for like the 4th gen is what I call it. It's like
I think I said that with when I first reacted to them. I was saying they reminded me of an older.
It's the
older
drama,
group.
I think. They've got like this theatrical and dramatic element to them, which is very, very, very reminiscent of like that sort of 2nd, 3rd gen boy group style. But it's not completely a throwback. It's still got that 4th genness to it as well. they have just had a debut of a subunit last year, and they dropped a song in May this year. It was really nice. It was 4 of the members. They have amazing song and dance covers on YouTube to check out. They also post regular videos, all with English subtitles.
Yay!
Straight away. Their fandom name is L Ring as well. But they've just got such personality. They're so sweet. They just have this thing. I don't know. It's hard to say, but they just have this essence to them that sets them apart from a lot of 4th gen. Yeah, their styling and concept photos. Yeah, it's the theatre of it all, I think, that sets them apart. The songs I recommended were their debut Swear, because you get to see Wonjun in that. And then Tears of Chaos, although I was not sure whether to recommend that or Dangerous, because Dangerous is a lot different.
They're both awesome.
But yeah, they're just incredible. They just have a thing, and it works for them, and they've just got such lovable personalities, real star potential. I hope they really make it big. Next up is Mireille. Which I didn't use an album photo for, just because I liked the personality of this one. They are Mireille, or Mireille Sonyeon, which is Future Boys. They debuted in March 2021. And they are from DSP, like Card and April, and have popped up in various like April music videos, some of the members and things like that. There are 7 of them. They're quite young. They are mostly 2000 onwards, apart from one who is 98, and that is the Japanese member who's the main vocal, who's Leon. That's not his actual name. That's 2 of them have stage names. The rest of them just use their normal names. I don't know why they just decided to have stage names. Those 2, I actually watched them choose it and everything, but because I've been following them since pre-debut, because a lot of people know Dong Pyo from X1, who is a member of this group, and he brought a lot of people over. He's also always going viral on Twitter for various stupid things. He is amazing. That boy was meant to be a star. He really was. Like washing his eyeballs and stuff, that video going out. And also the one where he's spoiling their entire like concept and album, and the staff are furiously knocking on the glass.
When he was running around outside.
You just hear them. He's outside just screaming, laughing, and like hinting things really obviously. And you can just hear furious knocking. Like, it's so good. He does not care. He's so funny. He's amazing.
That was hilarious. Oh my
that
God.
boy, honestly. And he doesn't stand out as being too hyperactive in that group, because there's so many like beagles in that group. Honestly, they're just a mess. The whole group are hilarious. Just they're crazy. It's anyway, they're Junghyuk, who's the leader and main dancer and lead rapper, Lian, who is the Japanese member, the eldest and main vocal, Jonghyun, who is vocal and visual. Kale, who that isn't his real name. He's one of the ones with another stage name. That's Kale's like Michael, like that's where that's come from. I watched him pick it, so Dumpyo, Seyoung, and Yubin. Yubin's the youngest, and he is in 2004. So
Oh God.
Yeah.
I know.
They range from
Babies.
98 to 2004 to 204 in age. But they have two incredible rappers with a lot of presence. It doesn't come across amazingly how great they are in their debut song, because they only have the debut song and the sort of mini album they dropped with that. Killer is the debut song with an A.
Killer.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's got
Yep,
like
that makes sense now.
NCT Superhuman vibes, things like that. Because
Oh.
they've got
Oh, I love Superhuman. Okay.
they've got a very sort of like robot, like android-esque, like overarching theme. That each of the members got like a symbol assigned to them. I don't know if that's going to be relevant in the future, or it's just one of those debut things that groups do at some point and then just never address again.
Well, we might see it 10 years from now in one of their
They'll
at the
just
end of
call
one of their videos, like EXO does.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I was thinking of EXO as I was saying that. I was talking about how the rap line don't come across. I mean, they do rap in the debut. But
Another
it
day,
was,
another crisis for Hannah.
Truth.
Yeah, the two rappers, they are something. And I'm going to give you a crisis more, Hannah, if you haven't seen it yet. But the two rappers, one of which has changed their name now, he is Sangmin in this still, but he's Kale now. Junghyuk and Sangmin / Kale are in BM's song Bad Manners. He had
That's
two
Hannah right
rappers
now.
with him in that video,
Oh, no.
and they are both the rappers in Mirai. If you haven't seen that, go and watch it now.
Poor Hannah.
Yeah, leave Hannah alone
Their
with
fandom
it.
name is Now, and the thing behind that is they are future boys, and you can't have the future without the present.
Oh,
So we are now.
It's not a
they
bad
went
name.
deep.
Yeah. And they do have a sort of electro pop-esque sort of vibe to them. Another song I recommended is Swagger, because that comes across with more of the rap in there. Two of the members were on Produce X101, Junghyuk and Dongpyo. Dongpyo was obviously sixth and part of X1. Two members were in the under 19 program and reached the top 20, so could have been in one of the 9. Sangmin and Seyoung. Sangmin's now Kale. Yeah, so it's so confusing. They literally chose that as well, like, because I watched their pre-debut program, which I recommend you go and watch. This English subs on everything of theirs as well. It's beautiful. They literally changed their name. I watched the whole thing and got used to their names, and then they literally changed. Two of them changed their names.
Yes,
In
I
the-
did too, Lucy.
In the
It's
last
like, wait a
episode, and I was like, "You can't do this to me. I've just got used to calling you these names. You can't change it."
I'm currently experiencing the same thing watching the Omega X program.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you don't do this to me. My brain is old. But yeah, they're hilarious. Dongpyo, they will laugh and call him the professional idol, because he gives that vibe, and obviously he was in X1 before this for a brief amount of time, sadly. And yeah, they are just all absolute crackheads, just completely. There's about 1 million things that you can go and watch with them in. because DSP actually seem to be doing a reasonable job of promoting them. Not saying they don't do it with other groups, but they seem to
I
be.
mean,
But you're not saying that you're not saying that.
Yeah, but they seem to be doing a good job so far with this.
Fingers
they
crossed.
should.
And BM's really, really like a big hype man for them as well, and the rappers especially because they've worked with him. KL, who I've mentioned a few times, is actually a producer as well, and he works hard. And he does not look his age at all. You think he's one of the older members, and I suppose he is, but he's still a 2002 liner. So my third group is actually a band.
Shock.
Shock horror. I went with Rolling Quartz. They debuted actually in December the 30th, 2020. So actually we've gone back a bit in time here. They are with Rolling Star Entertainment. I don't know much about the company. They are they all are ranged sort of like mid-90s in age for the most part, and yeah, we need more all female bands,
Yes,
especially like rock bands, because they are more on the rock side rather than any sort of like indie or any sort of side of things. And they are RM, Irie, Younger, Jaeyoung, and Shinjung. And they are they have two guitarists, a vocalist, a drummer, and a bassist. The vocalist, has got an incredibly powerful voice. It's like one hell of a voice. It's made for that sort of thing. She actually was. I sent a link through to the chat, the Hagdom chat on Twitter, but she was on Fantastic Duo with Eileen. One episode when she was younger, and yeah, she's got a hell of a voice. They're quite active on social media as well with their fans. It's really nice. They debuted with Blaze, and they sort of had a project release as well that's random, and they're the only two things you'll find on Spotify, I think, for them. But they do have some of the sort of unreleased songs, because obviously a lot of bands go through a sort of pre-official debut of like this busking and things like that. And Rock and Roll Paradise is one that I can recommend, that they perform a lot. Their fandom name's Diadem as well, which is really cute. They are just they've just got such charisma. They all really love what they do. You can tell it. They absolutely love being on stage. They, like any band, they just light up when you see them perform live. Some of them have tattoos and piercings as well. We support this.
We support that, yeah.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, like they seem to have done quite well with their debut, because a lot of people have been sort of crying out for more of this for a while. I think they've got a reasonable international fan base because of that. I know a lot of like fans of Dreamcatcher and fans of Pink Fantasy and stuff like that have been supporting them, because obviously they're quite similar in vibe. They've just hopefully are going to drop more music soon officially on Spotify. Please, I've only got 2 songs.
We need the void to be filled.
Yeah, seriously, 2 songs is on that.
Yeah.
But you've passed those on to Toya for her playlist?
Yep, they're on the playlist, so you will also have their entire Spotify. archive on this place.
Really check that out, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Okay, we're going to have.
Amanda-
Oh, sorry. I was going to say we're going to have to move on to Suey because we're running out of time at the moment because we have to finish up.
Yeah.
I know. I hate cutting people off because I know you guys want to talk all day, but we have to run a little bit of a shorter show today. So, Suey,
Okay, I'm gonna try to talk really fast. Okay.
you don't have to talk too fast. It's fine.
See if I
No
can-
I
rush.
only have 2 groups, Suey. It's okay.
See if I can get it all in. But before I started, I wanted to say my little piece about standing, or whatever the word is you want to use, rookie and debut groups. I know some people feel uncomfortable doing that sometimes, but my feeling about that is no matter how young they are, they've put their whole lives on hold to live this dream, and so it's my job as a fan to support them. I don't care how young they are. So
we're here for the
that's
music. We're here for the music.
Right.
So what's the issue?
Yeah, that's my thing I wanted to say about that, because I know a lot of people kind of have issues with it, and I'm like, why waste all those years? There's so many groups where I've wasted their beginning years, and I'm like, don't waste these beginning years with these guys, because these beginning years are like the best. I've learned over the past little bit that's why I love it so much. It's so much fun to start learning them when they're new. I just think it's the coolest thing. So anyway, that's my little,
The people
So,
who have trouble with it are just the hard stand folks.
Yeah, so if you're a hard stand, maybe I can see why that might be a problem, but I'm not a hard stand, so I'm good. So anyway, my first group is TOO/TO1. Now, I don't know how many people out there watching will know this whole crazy story, but
didn't they get the name changed halfway through something? Yeah.
They debuted on April 1st, 2020. There's 10 members, and they were formed from To Be World Class. It's a competition show that Mnet did, I guess. And they were TOO at that point when they debuted, and they went to Road to Kingdom a week after they debuted, and they blew everyone away. Yeah, they were crazy, and everybody was like, "Are you kidding me? They can't be only a week old," and they were amazing. So I wanted to just say that my favorite performance of theirs was Rising Sun, the cover for TVXQ. So if anybody wants to look up Road to Kingdom performances, that's my favorite one. Let's see. Oh, and as part of their competition, they went to KCON 2019, which I happened to be at in LA. Well, I think they went to New York and LA, but they did performance. They were 20 guys at the time, still narrowing them down to their final. And they did 2 songs, and I was blown away by them. And I had no idea what I was watching. They explained it, but I didn't understand what I was watching. So I look back on that, and I'm like, dang, I wish I would have known that 6 months later they were going to be like one of my top groups. So it's frustrating that I saw them, but I wasn't like appreciating them. Anyway, they were amazing. They did a cover of Bad Guy and What Do You Mean? What Do You Mean? Is that a song? Yeah. Is that a Justin Bieber song or something?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, they did that cover.
So,
I was at that
so
same too.
Yeah, they were so good. Well, let's see, what else did I want to say about them? They have 2 mini albums with TOO, and I just learned the other day that the whole YouTube channel for TOO is gone. They deleted it, but you can still watch those music videos on Stone Music Entertainment's channel, and you can still watch other things of them as TOO. Thankfully, they're still on Spotify with TOO, because TO1, it's like they started all over again. So, and that happened in March during KCON, or KCONTACT 3 in March. They were TOO, and all of a sudden the logo changed and blip, it turned into TO1, and we were all like, what in the heck is happening? And they just totally changed their name right there in front of us all on KCONTACT, and kind of changed their personalities, or not personality, their concept a little bit to be a little more grown up, I guess. So anyway, that was a little bit crazy, but I decided I'm just glad they're still a group. I don't care what their name is. They didn't disband. They're all still there. They're still making music. I'm sad their channel is gone from TOO, but anyway. So yeah, that's been weird to deal with. So they have 3 really awesome, powerful rappers that I absolutely love. They have 2 power belty vocal guys. One of their guys, Jae Yoon, he actually didn't make it in the contest, and he was 11th out, and then somebody that made it couldn't do it, and so he got to be in it, and he ends up being the leader and the main vocal. So that is kind of a crazy story that we like to think about because we're just so glad he's in there. I don't know. It would have been crazy without him in there.
Yeah, it almost didn't
So,
happen.
and Kyung Ho is my bias, and he is like an amazing dancer. I have an
Yeah,
edit
he's
on
not
my
biased.
channel with him I did to Body Rhythm because I can't believe the kind of dancing he does. And I also put on my channel, I put my favorite song of theirs is called Step by Step. It's a B-side. There's no music video for it, but they do have some performances. You can watch it on M Countdown. And I put, since I had downloaded it, I put their eye contact version back up on my channel. So if you guys want to see that, it's awesome. And my other song I was going to promote about theirs was just the recent comeback called Son of Beast. That shows kind of their more mature concept a little bit. It's still kind of, Magnolia was their debut, and it's still kind of hard hitting, both of them, but yeah. So those are my two. Just go listen to all their stuff, but those are my two tracks, my two allowed tracks to suggest. And I was going to say that to get to know them, you should go watch, it's called Welcome to House, and it's something they just barely did with a brand new group called Epex, I think is how you say it. Yeah. And these guys, Epex just debuted like 2 weeks ago or whatever, and they did a thing together. So, and they're adorable. Because now TO1 is like the Sundays, and showing them how to do everything. Mm-hmm. So that's a fun one that's just recently aired that will help you learn both of those groups. So, next group. Am I talking fast enough? Okay. I was going to say TOO's ages range from 1999 to 2002. So I think that's kind of the normal range for these new groups. Yeah. Ghost 9, my next group. I watched a thing for them right before they debuted. It was like a movie that they did. And it's called the Cinematic Work Door. If you look that up, Ghost 9 Cinematic Work Door, you can see them being cute little actors and kind of introducing their concept. And they have an interesting concept where they have cartoon characters that represent their other selves or whatever. And on their channel, you can go watch cartoons with these little characters. It's really cute. They're called Glees. And this group is made up of some guys from Mix 9, some guys from Produce X, people that didn't make it, that were eliminated from those shows. And then their 3 youngest was in Teen Teen, which was a project group that happened, I don't know when, a year or so ago, a couple years ago. Yeah. I watched their debut when they were doing like their fan chants and things. They were the most awkward group I've ever seen in my life, and it endeared me to them so much. I was like, I hope these guys make it. They looked like they had no idea what they were doing. Mm-hmm. Of course, now they're great. And they're funny, and they're very chaotic, and they've got the rhythm going now. But when I watched some of their debut stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, they are so crazy. And let's see, their debut track is called "Think of Dawn," which when I watched it, and I'm like, okay, I'm in, totally in. Yep. I was blown away by that debut song. My bias is Dongjoon, and he is an anomaly in the idol world. I feel like he sometimes acts like, why am I here? Like he's just like so funny, yes. Stoic, so serious. And so my big thing is catching him smiling, which he's doing a little more often. But he reminds me of how I imagine Leo from VIX back in the day. Leo changed over the years. Yeah. But back in the day, I remember everybody was like, is he ever going to smile? And he avoided the camera, Mm-hmm. So he reminds me of that. So that's why I just zeroed in on him right from the beginning, because he's just adorable. And he's just so, I don't know. I think he's having fun. He's great. So, and I learned that he had a solo that he did like 3 years ago. He was a solo artist and has a solo song out there, which I was so excited to find out. So let's see. I said my tracks for them is "Think of Dawn" for their debut, and then they have 4 mini albums out. So they have quite a little discography for a brand new group. Mm. They debuted in September last year. I didn't say that. 9 guys, Ghost 9. I guess that makes sense. But my favorite B-side is called "Focus," and it shows their really beautiful vocals. So they have some, like all the groups, I just love their rappers and their vocals, and they're just adorable. Just adorable. So if you want to get to know them, watch it's called Let's Ghost 9, and it's just their funny little reality show they did a while back. So, okay, my third group, P1 Harmony, and these guys are in F&C Entertainment, so they're a little bit more popular, I think, just because they're from a bigger company. Yeah, 6 guys. They have 2 mini albums. They debuted October 28th, 2020. Jong Sub is from Treasure Box. We talked about some of the other Treasure Box guys. He's their maknae. These guys are young. Their oldest is 2001, and Jong Sub is 2005. So pretty young. And he's an awesome rapper. And but I love the vocals in this group. Kiho is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Also Teo.
He's a meme.
He's a walking meme.
And Teo, which Theo is what it looks like, but they say Teo. His vocals are also absolutely amazing, and he's my bias, if I even can say I have a bias in this group, but also because he's kind of quiet and tends to not hog the spotlight, and I love those guys. I've told you all that before. But so yeah, those guys with their vocals, and then Jiyoung and Intak, I love them because they are just full of personality. And then Soul is from Japan, and he is like an absolutely amazing dancer. So, and their concept's a little more hip-hoppy than the other 2 that I was talking about. Their recent comeback is called Scared. So look that up. And my favorite song with them is a B-side called Butterfly, because it shows their amazing vocals. So please look that up.
Check that out.
Yeah. And they did, if you want to get to know them, their little show that they did is called Harmonision is how you say it, I think. Where an in song from SF9 hosted it and just did fun things with them, and you get to know their personalities a lot from that. Anyway, okay, so P1 Harmony. What are you guys laughing at? Is something happening in the chat?
Yes,
There was a comment in the chat.
Frankie said to Hannah.
Is Hannah doing something funny again? Anyway, oh my gosh, I need a fan on in
It's
this
just
room.
my comment.
Okay. Yeah, I'm totally clueless what's going on in the chat because I gotta spit this all out really fast. I think I got everything said that I wanted to say though. But yeah, these are some of my 3 favorite. I've been showing my other favorites with my little thing because I love so many of them. But yeah, these are 3 of my favorites. They're really, really awesome. So I love them.
Thank you,
Woo!
Rachel.
Finally. No. I only have 2 to talk about, so it won't be so much. But I'm going to talk about Signature first. So they're a 7-member girl group from J9 Entertainment, which is a sub-label of C9 Entertainment. So they're label mates with CIX and Epix. Yeah, so they debuted February 4th, 2020. And they haven't really had that many releases since their debut. They debuted with, I'm going to butcher the name of the song, Nu Nu Nana. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, they debuted with that, and that was a great song, and they had a great debut with that. It was just 1 single, and then they debuted, they put another single out about 3 months later in April called Asa, and so that was their comeback, there's comeback single. Yeah, and then after that, they didn't have a release again until they put a mini album out, and I believe it was August of 2020, and that only had 3 new songs, Ari-san, which was the title track, and then 2 other extra songs, plus the 2 the debut single and then the comeback single. So they only have 5 songs, not including like 1 OST that they did for a drama. But yeah, they don't have very many songs, but they were actually supposed to come back this March, but they couldn't come back because they had 2 members actually just suddenly leave for undisclosed reasons, which I'm like, That sounds sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 members left, and then 2 more just joined like
Oh
a
wow.
week ago. Like they
Even
just
It's so
added 2
disruptive.
members a week ago. Yeah. So yeah, the 2 members. So they have. I'm gonna butcher these names, but I'll try. Chasol, Jiwon, Celine, Belle, Semi, Sun, Yeha, and then Dohee and Chloe. So Chloe and Dohee are new, but Sun and Yeha are former members, so they left. And basically, they don't have. They only have 5 songs, but 5 of the members, a couple that left too, were members of Good Day. So they have a few songs under the name Good Day. If you want to check them out for more of the vocals and stuff. And a few of the members actually participated on like Mix 9, and that was a whole shit show. So let's not get into that.
Yep.
But they don't really have a set concept. I would say they're kind of like schoolgirl, like girl crush concept kind of. They have a cute side though to them too, so it's kind of hard to say. I feel like they just haven't found an identity yet, so they don't really know where they're going. But it's also a matter of like they need to make another comeback and figure out where they're going. So it just depends on that.
Mhm.
I was gonna say they got like there was not much else to really talk about with them, unfortunately, but they did they got nominated for a couple of things, like for Mama for Best New Female Artist. Obviously they
Oh,
didn't
that's
win,
good.
but they got nominated, so that's nice. They're getting some recognition. I feel like
Mm.
C9 or J9, the sublabel, just needs to manage them better because they have CIX, who they seem to be managing fine. They just debuted at EPEX, so you know it seems like they can manage boy groups, so they just have to manage their girl group properly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't. Yeah, it really sucks that the 2 members already left, but hopefully they left because they want to pursue something else, or perhaps they don't want to be in the music industry. But hopefully we'll find out it's nothing too serious in the end. Yeah, and I wish the new girls best of luck with the group.
Yeah.
And they had a fandom name called like Sea Love, but apparently like CILUV, but apparently that conflicted with another fandom name for the group Grayish. So later on that day, after announcing the fandom name, they just said, "Oh, we're going to rename ourselves the fans again," but then nothing happens. They're having like mini scandals after mini scandals, nothing serious, but it's like, just figure yourself out. I feel like J9 Entertainment, figure this out, Anyways, I feel like their songs are really, like, they're really good. And I'm just a little worried about how they're going to reform, because I feel like Sun, one of the members who left, who's a rapper, she really takes a lot of like dominance in their songs, and she's really a standout. So I hope they can kind of reform properly without her, because she was just a really big standout member for me. So she probably would have been my bias. I didn't really have a bias in this group yet. It's too early. But she was probably going to be my bias if she had stayed. So it's kind of sucks that she's left. But Celine's pretty nice. She's got a lot of dance covers on YouTube, which you can follow their YouTube channel, Signature. And they have some dance covers and vocal covers on there as well. So they haven't been, it's not like they haven't been doing anything, but they haven't been having a lot of releases, unfortunately, since August. They haven't done anything. So yeah, unfortunately that sucks. But yeah, someone was saying a lot of people said she was her bias. Yeah, she was just really good and really stood out. So I hope Sun, wish her the best, but I wish the new people the best as well in the group. So that was my fast take on Signature, because there's not much to say about them right now.
Last group?
Sorry. Yes, last group. So this is going to be so the last group is N-hyphen. I'm saying that horribly wrong.
Come through.
Yeah.
Well, I took it as N-hype because in the Hangul it's N-hyphen, but I know the logo is N and a hyphen.
Yeah,
but
I think it's N-hyphen.
They don't have F. Right. They don't have an F in F. There's no F in Hangul. So it's
N-hyphen.
Yeah, it's N-hyphen.
I'm just horrible pronouncing Korean words anyway, so it's going to sound English no matter what I do. But yeah, so I follow them since like the island. So they are a 7-member boy group under B-Lift Entertainment, which is a joint venture between CG, E&M, and Big Hit or Hybe. industries. So it's
Who knows
basically
anymore?
yeah, I know. I'm just like big hit music people, just big hit music. I'm gonna call them that. So it's a joint venture with them and CG E&M, so they have the money. Yeah, so 7-member boy group that was formed on the reality survival show Island. I watched the entire show. I was a sucker and watched it, and I was like, I'm never going to watch another competition show after Produce X 101, and then that just ended and one of this came up, and I started watching it. I got burned too many times, but I still keep watching them, so, you know. Anyway, so I watched the whole show. I had some favorites. Some of them didn't make it. Some definitely did. But it was an interesting show for like Big Hit Music's Big Hit's first like reality survival show. So they did pretty well. And if you want to know more about Hyphen, it's a good show to watch. Though be prepared for the tissues because you'll definitely
I just remember
cry.
how mad everyone was on
Yes.
Twitter.
Yeah, there's a whole kind of controversy about one of the members who didn't make it.
Yeah.
And I feel like no matter, like, it was between him and one other guy, and both of them really should have made it. So it's like, no matter what, there would have been like people mad about who
someone
didn't
would
make
have
it.
missed out.
So I feel like he's also going to debut in the Japanese group that Big Hit's making. So I feel like that was kind of pleasing some people, so we'll see where they go. They're supposed to debut this year, so we'll see, but who knows. Anyways, back to Hyphen, kind of off topic. So basically, they've only had 2 releases. They debuted November 30th with their first AP, Border Day 1, with a title track, Give and Taken. And their whole concept, if you didn't know, is like vampires. So kind of Twilight themed bit. Yeah, so Give and Taken, and they had a really good response to that. They also have another music video for Let Me In or 20 Cube from the same album. And basically every song they've released, obviously not the intro or outros, they've had at least a performance, if not a video for. So there's lots of performances, and you can see them perform every song like live at least, or at least a video of it, if not. So it's good. Yeah, and then I'm a sucker, and I bought all versions. So there's the first one. And then they just came back in April with their second EP, Border Carnival, and the title Drunk Dazed. And that got really good reception, and it also got them their first music show win on the show. They also had 2 subsequent wins on, I think, Music Bank and Show Champion. Yeah, and then they also put out an MV for Fever, which is my first recommended song because I love that song. So Fever, listen to that. Yeah, so it's a really good song, right? So I would suggest you definitely go listen to Fever or watch the video. The first part of the video is kind of confusing because it's to do with their storyline, so you can ignore that if you don't understand it. Which I don't even understand it, even though I'm a fan. So, there's that. But storylines are confusing, so I ignore them most of the time. But yeah, so Fever is really good. That's my first recommended track. And then my second, if I have to take one from their first mini album, which I probably will just to give you that diversity, I've actually said their title track, Give and Taken, is my favorite off their debut EP. It's just
great track.
Yeah, it's a solid track. It's a really great debut.
One of my favorite songs of the year.
Yeah, it was really surprising. I'm really happy they went that route, mostly because it's just more mature. Even though the members are very young, like their youngest is born in 2004, I believe. I wrote it down somewhere. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, he's really young. And another one, they're all like 2001 to 2004, so they're all very young. But yeah, the youngest is very young, so I'm surprised they went for such a mature sound. But they wouldn't have fit the cute image as much, except for 1 or 2 of the members. So it's probably best they didn't go that route. And yeah, I was also gonna say one last thing. The fandom name is Engine, which has 2 meanings, which is really weird. But one's engines, like fans are the engines that get them going.
Oh God!
And the second one is like, I know, but the names are so weird.
We need to do a whole episode on weird fandom names.
We do.
I know.
We could do it.
We can all come dressed as a weird fandom name, and we have to guess the other person who they are.
Yeah,
do
the
that.
meaning is sorry, it's like
That sounds like fun.
Jeans. So like N jeans.
And
So like we're the jeans that together that discover, grow, or whatever. Anyway, it's just like weird. Their names makes no sense, anyways. But when they were announced as N hyphen, I was like, what is this name?
I know, it was just
Yeah.
another weird name.
Didn't we all like collectively groaned and
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I mean, we've barely survived TXT from Big
I
Hit, and then
can't
now we
believe,
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
believe Christine didn't mention universes either.
I
That
didn't
was-
go there with the fandom name. I didn't go there with the fandom
Yeah.
name.
If you want to get to know them better,
Let's not. Let's not.
They have some reality shows. They had N hyphen and High 2 seasons. The first one's like pre-debut, and then the second one is after they debuted. So there's like that, and then they also have Playground, which is with TXT, so you can see them interact with some label mates, which is only 2
Okay.
episodes. And then they have a new one ongoing called N O'Clock, which is just airing now. So there's only a couple episodes out.
Okay.
They're pretty funny, but I feel like they're also just trying to like get used to idol life and get comfortable with each other. So some of it's kind of like more awkward funniness than actual funniness. But
Okay.
there's a couple of good members.
See you next week. I'm doing a show called Anatomy of a Dance Cover, and where I'll be interviewing KCDC members. Swenson's one of them. My daughter Alex, another one of the panel. She's on the
Swenson
show.
may or may not be there.
Swenson may turn up on time. He may not.
It's gonna be a Saturday night for me, so I'm all good.
See you later. Bye.